Your school didn't just teach you about reading and math, it actually might have completely shaped your financial choices and how you feel about money today. And I'm going to talk about the psychology behind that. Our financial choices are powerfully shaped by the people around us during our formative years. So, your family, when you were born, even your neighborhood can affect your money habits. And of course, the same goes for your friends and classmates. This is what psychologists call financial socialization, which is the process in which we develop attitudes, knowledge, and behavior around money. And like I said before, typically your family is the main agent, but educational environments become increasingly influential as we move through our teenage years into young adulthood, like in college. And it's not just about direct peer pressure, like pushing people to spend money. It's the invisible normalization of certain financial behaviors. So for example, if everybody in your dorm is ordering DoorDash 3 times a week, that starts to feel like normal and the default behavior rather than something out of the normal. And that can subconsciously push you to spend money in ways you might not have had before. Also, schools are typically our first serious exposure to status hierarchies and social comparison. Like if you think back to high school, like the cool kids table, that is like almost a crash course in like status economics. So like those social hierarchies, like who had the best clothes, who got invited to the best parties, that puts a fingerprint almost on how we think about money. And it's really important to remember that wealth is wildly relative. Somebody who is making $100,000 in rural Ohio is going to feel very differently about their status than somebody who is making that same amount in San Francisco. So this is called reference group bias, and education can completely supercharge it. So your degree doesn't just affect what you earn later in life, it can completely reshape who you compare yourself to financially. You know, we don't just want what we want to impress people around us with what we have. And education can help define who our reference group is, the people against whom we're measuring our financial success. And so the key insight isn't to judge these influences necessarily, but just to recognize them. So when you understand how your educational background is programmed into your money psychology, you can actually gain the power to consciously override the patterns that don't potentially serve you. And if you're interested in learning more about the invisible forces that shape our money decisions, I write about this extensively in my newsletter called Your Brain on Money. And each week I help you uncover the hidden psychological patterns that are driving your relationship with money and give you practical tools to reprogram them. You can find the link in my bio.